and welcome to a special edition of Tunnel Vision. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, publisher of USCFootball.com. Joined alongside, we call him Triple Double, Connor Morrissette, and we got a very special guest this week. Thanks again to House of Victory, Ball Out Bishop Fitzgerald, the Redshirt senior safety for the Trojans. 2 more interceptions against Michigan. He leads the team with 5. If you remember, Calen Bullock had 5 a whole season back in 2022. And Adoree Jackson, you remember him? He had 5 all season back in 2016. So well ahead of pace, could set some records here at USC. He's doing a great job through one half of the season. We welcome him back. He's a repeat guest here on Tunnel Vision. But Bishop, thanks so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. I told you before we went on, you were part of the intro. We had you on over, I guess in the spring or summer or something. And then when we made the new intro, we put like the special guests in there. And we had a lot of fun in that conversation. So looking forward to this one as well. Let everyone know House of Victory set this up. If you want to help out student athletes like Bishop, you can use the scan the QR code on your screen and make a donation and help with House of Victory. We talked about some of your charity work before. You don't get to do this, but the House of Victory tailgates are pretty special. And they just announced that USC is going to do one for the Northwestern game too. They weren't going to do that because it's Friday night, but they're back. They had a really big one for the Michigan game. Like Matt Barkley was there and a whole bunch of former players and stuff. I guess, she said Charles Woodson even came to that one. So they had a Michigan alum there. I know you don't look at the tailgate, though. But, when you graduate, NFL career is over, then maybe you can do some tailgating.
Yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
Cool, man. Well, yeah, so you're halfway through. Obviously, talked about you got 5 picks already. Seems to be working out well for your final season of college football. What's this last, couple of months been like since we talked to you? It's been a lot going on, it seems like.
Yeah, so I think last time we talked was right before fall camp and just going through that and actually like learning the playbook. Spring's kind of just like a kind of small install of what you guys actually do. So just learning it actually, and then obviously going out there and playing and with my guys, and then obviously the Big Ten, I think a better conference than the ACC where I came from, and just kind of adjusting to that speed. But I think, we've had our ups and downs, but I think that these last few months have been pretty good for me, just going out there and being able to, perform with my teammates and seeing my family come to LA and, they're playing for such a prestigious school like USC. And I think it's just like, dreams come true.
So great to hear that, Bishop. Saturday, you guys get the big win against Michigan. The Coliseum was rocking. It was so loud in there. What was it like on the field feeding off of that energy?
Yeah, so, you kind of hear it like some of those third downs when the game is, when you're waiting for a call, you just look up and look behind, Coach Slane and look at the third down. Everyone was waving the towels, man. It was electric out there. And kind of seeing the offense, like that's when you really hear when they're not playing. And like that long third down run King had, I think like it blew up, like you heard a pop. And I think Coach Riley said that kind of felt like, the earlier Trojans, like 2000 Trojans. And I think that, we kind of just want to get back to that level and, just go out there and have fun and be able to win big games like that one.
Talking to some of the people around and, they've been around this program a while and were on the field, they said they just don't remember an atmosphere like that in the Coliseum. It seemed like the fans came, the towels were going. For you on the defensive side, when there is all that energy pre-snap, especially for a big down, like you mentioned, like third downs, what's that like for a defensive player kind of hearing that around you? I know for an offensive player, it's probably not great, but for the defensive side, how is that?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Just like I said, I think that defensively we kind of struggled a little bit this season. I think that we kind of just needed a game to like get back on track. And I think that the fans did a great job of just coming out there and like being great fans. And, we were motivated. We had some extra motivation this game, but going out there and seeing like the sold out Coliseum and, the fans being involved and the whole team involved, I think that we kind of just, use that as momentum and push this forward.
Bishop, what was the couple of weeks of practice like after that Illinois game where things didn't go your way, but the whole defense, Danton Lynn talked about taking that performance personally. Lincoln Riley talked about needing to respond. You guys clearly did that against Michigan, so something worked in practice. What were those 2 weeks like?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like self-reflection, I guess. I think that obviously we went out there and we didn't get the result we wanted against Illinois. So I think that up like they were honestly able to just do whatever, first down, gaining 6 yards, and second down, getting back on track with the first down. So I think that, we kind of had an idea before, like who we wanted to be preseason. I think that it was just really just finding out who we are again. So during the bye week, we were challenged and we were doing a lot of good on good against our offense, running to the ball. And, it was really intense practices, really physical practices. And knowing that Michigan wanted to come in and run the ball all over us. So challenged our D-line. Obviously, secondary been having a little bit of struggles too. So we challenged our secondary. And then, kind of just some of the stuff like Coach Moore was talking about and like his interviews, what he said about USC, kind of taking some of that stuff personal too. And just going out there and, showing people who we want to be.
Hopefully you're okay there. We got some emergency vehicles going by, but welcome to LA. I know, it's great. You talk about the motivation, and I talked to people that were in the administration and people around the team, and everyone seemed to understand how important of a game this Michigan game was. And I know for players it's like every game's the same and all that most of the time, but did it feel different? Like this is one we really need to get a victory forward, because it's like 5-1 going into a tough stretch is like you got some momentum. 4-2 going on the road against the top 15 ton of team. It's a different mindset. Did it feel like this was of utmost importance to try to get this win?
Yeah, I mean, just going out like our week of practice, actually after the bye week, I think Coach Riley came in the team meeting, and I think since I've been here, that was the most energetic and fired up I've seen him. So I think that just stuff like that kind of showed us, how important this game was to him. And then overall, obviously it's our next game and our next opponent, but at the same time, like we needed to win this in order to do what we want to do. And I think that, we just went out there and we played for each other and played for Coach Riley. I think that, the results showed.
Bishop, switching gears here a little bit. We had a question about this on our message board, and I thought about it before we had you on here. So against Purdue, I think it was the interception that you had. It kind of looked like on the snap you were hiding behind the back judge a little bit. I don't know if that was on purpose or if that was just what it looked like from the television angle. Was that a coaching point to maybe hide yourself from the quarterback and then pop out and make the interception, or did that just happen naturally? Do you remember anything about that play, or am I taking crazy pills?
Nah. Kind of when you're in the middle of the field, that back judge kind of is always in the way. So I was off the quarterback there. So, you kind of get coached up to use some savvy tricks like that and kind of like hide behind the judge so they don't count you in the run fit and stuff like that. So, I kind of used it. I don't think like I wasn't actively thinking that before the play, but I guess just my alignment happened and kind of just happened to look like that. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, whatever works, you got to do what you're going to do.
It worked perfectly.
I got a couple clips. Chris Trevino does a good job shooting our field level highlights. And if you saw the intro, the Thick Six, Jamal Jarrett, we got to play that one a few times. But I got a couple of yours. I played this earlier when you were talking to Connor. If you want to walk us through, maybe we'll do the sack first coming off there. And, you guys were able to get some good pressure on freshman quarterback Bryce Underwood.
Yeah. So, we're in one of our new calls we put in that week. Third down, obviously, we wanted to throw as many looks as we can at this young quarterback, show him a lot of things and make him actually read a defense. We felt like he hasn't had to do that so far this year. So I kind of wanted to show that I was just man on three. Me and Kamari kind of giving each other fake cues, like we're playing man coverage and we're IO-ing these two receivers. So just coming off three and coming off the edge, I think that was actually my first career sack. So it was a really special moment for me. So, just executing the call Coach Lynn called.
Nice. And then we got we have a first interception. We didn't get the second, the kneel down one at the end. Chris didn't get that one, I don't think. But you can, if you want to walk us through what happened on this play.
Yeah, I mean, I think another third and long here. We run a lot of cover zero on third down, so that was something we wanted to show, like we were in a cover zero. Everyone mugged up at the line of scrimmage. all the safeties and cornerbacks on the receiver pre-snap, and we spin out to a cover 2 last minute. And I think the corner did a great job. Marcellus did a great job of rerouting one there, and kind of was just in my half and saw the ball come to me and just went and made a play on the ball. I think D-line also did a great job, and kind of, when your D-line's doing a great job, quarterbacks feel like they got to get the ball out way faster than they have to. And I think that his internal clock was just way faster than it really should have been the whole game.
We saw USC use some more 3 linebacker sets than they have for most of this year, Bishop. When you're playing safety, obviously, what are the advantages to having the 3 linebackers out there, and what are the challenges?
Yeah, some of the advantages, obviously, just having, more downhill fitters and bigger bodies to take on some of the bigger blocks from the O-linemen and tight ends. Obviously, as safeties, we're asked to do that, but sometimes you got to let the big guys do their jobs and go out there and take all those hits. So I think some of that, obviously, Michigan wanted to run the ball, so that's kind of why we were in some of those 3 linebacker sets. So I think that just obviously stopping the run, and then some of the disadvantages was kind of just you having like bigger guys out there in the perimeter, like in a lot of space. And I think our linebackers are actually great in space, but obviously like run pass option and being able to put those guys in binds where we're kind of softer in coverage, and then having to come and make a tackle and they get like a 10-yard gain or something like that.
Also, so that allowed Kamari Ramsey to come back and play safety instead of nickel. How did that impact things? It seemed like it, made a bit of a difference for the defense too.
Yeah, that's his natural position. And I think that, these past few weeks, it's kind of just been a testament to him and how versatile he is going out there and playing nickel. And he's been doing his job so well. Like, stuff like that doesn't show in the box score. He hasn't really been getting a lot of targets, hasn't been getting a lot of stuff coming his way. So I think, these first few weeks he's just sacrificed for the team, and he's been doing such a great job there. And I think that, we had Alex Graham's healthy again, and then obviously we're in some 3 linebacker stuff. So he's able to play safety. I think you felt him out there, and we definitely missed him in Illinois this week.
Bishop, you have, I think, 3 red zone picks out of the 5, and you can correct me if that number is different. When you're making interceptions in the red zone, is that something that you've seen on film? I'm sure it's an amalgamation of everything, but is that just you understanding really well what the offense wants to do? Just take me through how you've been able to have so much success when the opponent is so close to scoring.
Yeah, so I think that obviously everything's like shrink in the red zone. Passes got to come out quicker and tighter windows, and we're aware of that. So we kind of run more stuff to make him make some of those harder throws and put our guys in positions to make plays like that. So I think that a lot of time when teams are in the red zone, they go to their money plays, stuff that always works for them. And I think that's something I pride myself in doing, like in gotta have it moments, just finding out what teams like to go to and what concepts they like, and just being able to put myself in positions like that where I can make a play.
I was about to say big game, Michigan. You got another big one coming up, Notre Dame. Your former team just played Notre Dame. Any advanced scouting? I don't know if we can talk about any of this stuff, but that's kind of interesting, right? Like the guys you used to play with just played them last week.
Yeah, obviously, I'm still tapped in with some of those guys. So I asked them a few questions about them, and they were in the game, I think, till the third quarter. Got a little ugly after the third quarter, but I've been talking to them, and they said they got some keys. They kind of show them film and stuff like that. So definitely something us as a staff and as players are going to be looking out for this week while watching film. So yeah.
As a transfer, what does this rivalry mean to you this week, Bishop, and how have you embraced it? I know you're new to USC, but the fans, they want to get this one. USC hasn't won in South Bend since 2011, I think, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, they kind of show you, like, once you commit, like you kind of get like a video about like the backstory of this rivalry, and you get some like insight on it and like what it means to everybody. So I feel like this is just one of those weeks where you just got to take everything personal, and going out there and knowing that it's a game you got to win and you got to have, and it adds some like extra motivation. Like, you never want to make it bigger than what it is, but sometimes you just got to be real. Like, this is one of the games that is so important to us and as a fan base, and just moving forward for the rest of the season.
All right, Connor, should we get to some Peristyle questions? Are we good with that, or?
Yes, Bishop is very popular. A lot of the fans want to ask you some stuff, so we have a few of those if that's okay.
Yeah, you sort of mentioned it up the top. AJSHOFF. What's it like playing in the Big Ten compared to the ACC?
I think the talent is a little better. I think like O-line play, bigger O-linemen. I think quarterback play is better than the ACC. I think like skill position, some of the receivers. I think every game we played so far has had an elite receiver that we played, and I think just like the environments, I think there's a lot more teams who have more active fan bases than some of those ACC schools.
AJ Schaff has another one. What's your favorite football memory so far as a Trojan?
I think our first game against Missouri State, Pomerantz pick, where he should have scored, but he went the wrong way. Favorite moment so far, yeah.
Wait, that's your favorite memory? Like, you had a pick six in that game. You had your first sack, the Michigan game. You're like, like my buddy that didn't score. That was a good memory. Okay.
Yeah, I love that moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Diane77, what's your go-to spot for comfort food that reminds you of home in LA or its surrounding areas?
I don't know. I really don't eat out that much, but I have been to Joey's. I like Joey's a lot. It doesn't remind me of home, but I think some of the stuff they have is just like, I try to have it every Thursday before we play, so that's kind of been my little pregame ritual I have. So
what's that? So what is that one? I'm not familiar with that one.
Joey's, it's like a restaurant in downtown LA.
Okay.
They have everything.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Have to check that one out. So we have two questions here from Fake Pete Carroll. What's your favorite NFL team, and what was your favorite cereal growing up, or maybe it's still your favorite cereal?
My favorite NFL team is the Raiders. My family's from San Diego, so they like the Chargers, but then I don't know, they became Raiders fans, so I kind of was born into being a Raiders fan. And we're not doing too good right now, so usually when the playoffs come around, I root for the Lions. I kind of like what they're doing right now. But my favorite cereal.
Not a big cereal guy, apparently.
I like Fruity Pebbles.
Oh my God, that's mine.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as cereal goes, that's what do you guys say? It's fire. I mean, it's a pretty elite cereal, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you have one, Connor? What's your favorite cereal?
If I'm having a sugary one, probably Reese's Puffs. Those are pretty good.
I don't even know what that is. All right. No, like the Fruity Pebbles. Come on, it's like that turns the whole milk like sugary syrup. Oh, it's so good. I don't get it very often, but Eddie in Orange had a question. He likes to show off his football knowledge, Bishop, but that's okay. When playing a true free safety in a cover 3, do you read the weak side guard or other player on your first step, or another player on your first step? Sorry.
I was taught it different ways at NC State. Since we were kind of 3 down, I was taught to read like the weak side tackle or the weak side guard, whichever one I could see, depending on where my D-line was aligned. But since running like a forward 2 now, I'm not really needed in the run fit as a post safety. So I'm really just reading quarterback there and just kind of reading like the whole line. It's like, what they're doing, if they're pass setting or if they're pulling in something like that.
Cool.
T-Marks43 wants to know, what is your favorite coverage to run and why?
I think any of the ones where I'm kind of just roaming the middle of the field. I think my pick six against Missouri State, that's kind of like my favorite coverage to run. It's like an inverted cover 2, basically, where I'm just a middle runner and I could play off the quarterback.
You kind of talked about this a little bit. I don't know if you want to share any more insights. Peasy It says on his sack, it looked like he disguised it very well, which led to Underwood not realizing he was blitzing. Would love to know if that's how it's coached.
Yeah, so we kind of just wanted to make it look like man across the board and drop out to like a cover 3 fire zone at the last minute. So that's kind of what we were doing. We were running with motions, like we were taught to run with motions, and then got some adjustments based off if you ran with your guy and stuff like that. So it's really like a really complex call by Coach Lynn, but the disguise is also a big part in it.
Yeah, you definitely snuck up on Bryce Underwood there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've answered this before, Bishop, but fans always want to know. Expo Park USC asks, why did you choose USC?
Yeah, I mean, just being from like the East Coast, we don't really have like a profound school that's been dominating on the East Coast. So you kind of, just go to wherever you're drawn to. And I think that obviously just growing up, seeing like early 2000s, seeing how good USC was and all the stuff coming from out there. And then as you grow up, like seeing like even outside of like sports and just like the business world and stuff like that. So I think like my decision was like, if God forbid I got hurt playing football, if I were to just be a normal student at this school, like, could I see myself doing that? And I think USC is just like that perfect balance of, elite sports and then elite education too.
Big fans will love to hear that. And we got another one from Kabui. Was the Kansas junior college experience for you close to how it was portrayed in Last Chance U, the boredom of the small towns, fanatic support of the community, the drama of trying to mesh with all the different personality types? Was it a fair representation?
Yeah, I think Last Chance U did a pretty great job of kind of portraying how it is. I don't think that our head coach is anywhere like Coach Brown from there. That guy's pretty crazy. But I mean, yeah, like going out there and seeing like animals on your field, or going out there and like sometimes you don't know what to eat, just got to order 20 pizzas for the whole team because the cafeteria food is like bad and like it's not edible and stuff
wow.
like that. I think that like they actually do a pretty good job of, because we're only 20 minutes from where Last Chance U was filmed, where I went to junior college, so that was like our rival. So a lot of the stuff that's there, like I've done that. So I mean, yeah.
Well, congrats on making it to USC, because I know the junior college grind, as you explained, can be challenging. I hope the food at USC is better.
Yeah, definitely.
The next question, you kind of answered it a little earlier, but health and trauma, it's a little different. Wants to know, when you're lining up pre-snap, what's the first thing you're looking for from the offense?
Yeah, just like the formation, honestly. Like when you watch film, you kind of are able to like categorize what an offense wants to do out of each formation they have, and like an offense can only install so many new plays before a game. So when you see formation, just knowing that like what they want to do. So that's what we look at, and that's honestly how we get aligned, like based off formation too.
And health trauma also want to know what's something fans might not realize about how much communication goes on between the safeties and the corners out there.
Yeah. So, man, I feel like it's pretty hard to say, but like we're talking before everything, like even if it's not nonverbal, like we're doing hand signals and just letting each other know, like if they motion, we're going to this, or when they do motion, like we're staying in this. So I think that like there's a lot of communication that goes on, like even in a lot of the big plays we made, like it's like a last minute communication. I think that's kind of where earlier in the season we struggled. We kind of had guys running wide open because that communication, like it's so fast, happens so fast, like everyone doesn't hear it. So yeah, I mean, it's a lot.
We've got two more for you here. Who's the toughest receiver or quarterback you've ever had to prepare for, and what made them so challenging? That's Health and Trauma's last question. He brought some good questions today. He or she. Shout out to that username.
Yeah. I'll say we played last year, or 2 years ago, we played Drake May at NC State.
That's
And,
right. He's dominating with my Patriots right now. Of course.
yeah, he's going crazy right now. And, we kind of got after him at NC State, but he's talented. He's huge. Like, he could run. Like he's just checking all the boxes right now. And obviously he was a lottery pick, so he's doing what they thought he was. So he's having a really good season. And then receiver, I'd probably say I played this guy named Malik Washington. I think he's on the Dolphins now at UVA. He was like a slot guy, kind of like a gadgety slot guy. Like, he'll block really hard, then he'll go run a route, and he just motioning all over the field, stuff like that. You're not trying to deal with all game, but yeah.
Nice. You made Connor's day with the Drake May reference there. So, one last one for you. We'll let you go. NW Fan 76. What other sports did you play growing up?
I ran track growing up. My first sport was t-ball, so I played some t-ball. Played basketball, and yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Well, let me get to the applause here. Repeat guest. Really good stuff. Who was the other repeat? We had Ja was a repeat, right? I think we had him on after his thick six. Connor, we had him on earlier, but that was good. You guys still talk about that at all in the defensive rooms, or does he bring it up a lot?
I just brought up. Ja probably watches it a few times every week.
Oh, there we go. We got that one. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, when we had him on, because Gavin put his in his Instagram story Chris's video. So Chris had a really good video. He ran right at him in the corner. He was filming on the field. So he had an awesome, and Ja was like watching it in the study room or wherever, and Gavin filmed them watching it, just watching it over and over again. And so we brought it up to him.
Yeah.
But that was pretty special. It was a pretty special play.
It was special.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming on. Maybe we'll get you to do the fight on for the screenshot again, if that's cool. You want to throw up your Oh, look at that. See what? It's just such a perfect screenshot. We love it. Thanks so much again for coming on. Follow him on X at Ball Out Bishop, and you can follow him along. Yeah, 5 picks already halfway through the season. So he's already up there. There's record-setting stuff if you can get a few more out here. So it's been a while since you've seen a USC defender have that many interceptions in a game. So pretty special.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. Thanks again to House of Victory. Let me throw up their QR code again if you want to make a donation and help out student athletes like Bishop. But that's Bishop Fitzgerald. USC has Notre Dame coming up this week. Make sure you check out uscfootball.com for all the coverage, and watch number 19 out there. Maybe we'll get another pick or two in South Bend. But that'll wrap it up. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we will talk to you next time.